You're looking at the two biggest revenge tour candidates in 2024. These guys are the best players to bank on to come back on a holy terror, and they're coming for everybody. And this guy specifically is coming for everyone. He's putting everyone on notice. He's the only main option that Aaron Rodgers has, and the rapport's been phenomenal. They've been tearing up every team they face in practice, scrimmage, and Garrett Wilson's coming for 12 to 13 to 14, maybe even 15 total touchdowns in 2024. He is quite arguably the biggest revenge tour candidate we could find. Bijan's up there, but he still had a relatively good year. So I didn't put Bijan in here. Plus, Bijan gets all the accolades on this channel already, and he hasn't even done what he's about to do. Bijan's going to go crazy. These two gentlemen, Cooper Kupp being one, Garrett Wilson being the top one of the two, are coming for everyone. The Fantasy Football Show Revenge Tour episode begins right now. The Jamar Chase wants $120 million guaranteed news show also begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Real quickly, not a lot of news to get over. We're going to get over to the Revenge Tour candidates in just 1 second. Garrett Wilson, number one Revenge Tour candidate in 2024. Cooper Kupp, the number two. Look at him.
It's time for some revenge, Revenge Tour, Revenge Tour.
Look at him.
Revenge Tour, Revenge Tour.
So the obvious candidates, they're not even really, these are all guys we like. We've talked about on the left side of the screen, but I wanted to make this list special. I wanted to really narrow it down to 2 or 3 guys. Right now it's 2. It could be 3. Garrett Wilson, number 1. Cooper Kupp, number 2. Again, you can make arguments for Bijan. You can make arguments for a bunch of different guys, but these 2 guys I think are coming for everybody. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Just give me 1 second. Let's jump over to the news real quickly. Jamar Chase, according to this report, who knows if it's right or wrong, Jamar Chase is reportedly looking for a 4-year deal worth $160 million. In the range that he wants, that's the range that he wants, and he wants $120 million guaranteed. $40 million annual value. Justin Jefferson is 35. That's crazy. I'm not saying that he doesn't get something in between. I think he might. I don't know if he's getting it now, because the owner talked about this situation and said that a time for doing a deal isn't in the in-season, it's in the off-season, even though we just exited the off-season and they couldn't get a deal done. We're hearing all kinds of rumors. Chad Ochocinco came out and said that he's not touching the field if he doesn't get a new contract. He held in, showed up, then left and held out, and we don't know what in the hell is going on right now, but we are hearing that he is not wanting to touch the field, foot on grass, foot on turf, until he gets $120 million guaranteed. Again, this is hard to know, but this is per ESPN 1530, according to this report. And this is insane if he wants $120 million guaranteed. But we said this was coming. And if this somehow, some way drops, even if it's 117, 118, the Ayuk deal, just reset that. Start that over. Put a fork in the current deal that the Niners may have cooking with Ayuk right now. And there's mixed reports on that. But more on this in a little bit. In the Ayuk situation, might as well get to it real briefly and just say that, oh, there's the perfect, we'll put this over here. This is the Aaron Rodgers. I don't have the clip to play on here, but I'll show you this report here. But Ayuk right here, Ayuk, one report says that Brandon Ayuk and the Niners are making progress, but the deal's not done yet, but some details are being worked out. And then another report says differently. Mike Garafolo, who I trust a little bit more, says the 30-day Brandon Ayuk hold-in update that he and the Niners haven't budged in recent days, and Ayuk seems dug in. And the Steelers still waiting on whether this is going to potentially happen for them. So you have two very conflicting Ayuk reports. The Niner fan base is going to be posting this one. They're going to be like, it's almost done. The deal is almost done. And, whatever. Other people are reporting this one. I trust this Tom Pelissero retweet from Mike Garafolo more than I trust the Ari report over here. But that's me. Tough to know, what's what. And then you got the announcement that we knew was going to come. And this guy we love, Bo Nix, is a fan favorite of ours, a show favorite of ours, is being named the starter over in Denver. No surprise, but a Superflex gold mine. Now let's get over to the topic at hand. Who are the two biggest revenge tour candidates for the 2024 fantasy football season? I'll show you. I'll show you right now and put them on screen. And then we'll get back to we'll get to the phone calls as soon as we can. I think my screen is frozen. There, we'll put it there. These are your revenge tour candidates, ladies and gentlemen. These are the top two candidates that you can find. They're both wide receivers, which is very nice because a lot of our Saturn, Moon, Marsman board is filled with running backs, quarterbacks. We got tight ends galore on that thing. So it's nice to have a board that is dedicated to the wide receiver. And there's no two better fitting wide receivers to bounce back and become absolute monsters and win you a league than these two gentlemen right here. And in some cases, they could be your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. In some cases, you could go Garrett Wilson and Kyron, and then Cooper Kupp at round 3. Cooper Kupp goes in 2-3. It kind of depends who you're drafting with, but if you can get this guy in the 3rd round, you used to get him in 4. We love the 4th round value of Cooper Kupp, but we still love 3rd round Cooper Kupp. Round 2 becomes a little bit more, we're getting close to where they're teeter-tottering on equal risk and equal upside. They're both monstrous, but one could take you down, one could take you to the promised land. Round 3 feels like you're protecting yourself because even if he misses 4 or 5 games, I almost guarantee you, can't fully, but I almost guarantee you that per start, he will be an elite player. And if you draft him in round 3, especially round 4, you're packaging in that dreaded 3-4 missed games from an older player that's 31 years old. And if you get him in round 2, you're not packaging that in. So there's a big difference, a very, very drastic difference between 2nd round Cooper Kupp and 3rd round Cooper Kupp. And someone could say the same thing about Garrett Wilson being in round 2 versus round 1, but at the end of the day, he's kind of a round 1, round 2 turn guy. So if you got the 12, 13 pick, doesn't matter. That's still the same player. You got the 11 and 14, becomes a little bit different. You grab Garrett Wilson at 14, it affords you maybe a Gibbs or somebody falls that shouldn't, like a Breece Hall. When Breece Hall falls to round 2 or the 10, 11, 12, we scratch our heads. I don't even understand how that happens. This right here, Aaron Rodgers throws a 50-plus yard bomb. You can see Aaron Rodgers stepping back. Garrett Wilson's right here at the bottom of the screen, number 5. A 5 doing what 5s do, which is ball out. And Garrett Wilson's running downfield, and he's going to catch a 50-plus yard pass from Aaron Rodgers, take it into the end zone. Garrett Wilson put it on everyone this offseason that they scrimmaged with, but the Giants got torched by Garrett Wilson today. Absolutely annihilated. And Garrett Wilson is coming for everyone. Absolutely everyone. We got a $20 hauler. Joe dropped this before the live stream even began. Joe, you're a monster, pal.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 haulers get immediate attention. So he says, yo, Smitty, I just need the hardest fantasy football drop. Let him cook. Back to back to back. Rashee Rice and Mahomes to the moon. I'll give you the let him cook, and then I'll give you the Rashee Rice play. Right now, pal. Here you go.
Let him cook.
Your wide receiver from
from the combine.
He can't catch.
Does he have hands? Just facts.
Many say he won't make it at the next level.
Enough. Watch me. I must go back and make it right.
Xavier Worthy.
He can't catch. Just facts. Just facts. Just facts.
He won't make it.
Catch this. Great catch. Wow, nice catch. He's not overrated catching the ball.
He can really catch.
It's Chiefs season. Mahomes is scoring 45-plus touchdowns. Let them cook.
Now I know you're wanting to talk about Rashee Rice, but Mahomes is cooking, and when Mahomes is cooking, you know who's eating? Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice and Worthy and Pacheco and Kelsey. This guy Mahomes is throwing for 40 to 45 touchdowns. In fact, I got a little something special for you. Yeah, we did do the revenge tour today, and let me replay that for you. Revenge, baby. Look at him. So not only did we drop that for you, Joe, but you want a little more Mahomes action? There are Saturn men, are there not? Can I get an amen in the chat? Saturn men. There are Saturn men. There are Mars men. Can I get a yes, sir, in the chat? There are moon men. There are moon men. Can I get a yes, Smitty? There are moon men in the chat. What we don't have is a way of defining which one of the moon men, the Saturn men, the Mars men are the best of the best. How do we know who's the best? People say, Smitty, I don't understand. Saturn, Mars, moon, just give me the top guys. I don't know what you're saying here. I've got a solution. There are only very few stars that become supernovas. Supernovas, they could be a moon man turned into a supernova, a Mars man turned into a supernova, a Saturn man can turn into a supernova. I give you the 5 supernovas, the very special Mars men, Saturn men, moon men, the 5. The 5, ladies and gentlemen.
There are Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 5 can become supernovas. I give you the 5 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 5 supernovas. 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 Supernovas.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
You heard it right. The shuttle's cleared the tower, and the supernovas are in the building. Look at them. Look at them. Take them in. Understand them. Draft them. Win with them. Cook with them.
Let him cook.
Smitty, I thought this was about Garrett Wilson. Well, today's kind of a mishmash of excellence, I might add. And Garrett Wilson going back in that direction and saying, hey, and I got some other super chats I'm going to get to, but I wanted to help Joe. $20 haulers get immediate attention. Joe interrupted the whole thing, started the Mahomes reaction, the supernova reaction. So good on Joe. Good on Joe. These two gentlemen win leagues. These two gentlemen are on the Moon Men, Saturn Men, and Mars Men list. They are. I mean, actually, Garrett Wilson's not. He's a graduate from it. So this is fitting that he is atop any list we have somewhere because he is a graduate from the Moon Men, Mars Men, and Saturn Men class. So I'm glad that Garrett Wilson has number one seeding somewhere. He's number one. Number one revenge tour player walking into 2024.
It's time for some revenge, baby. Revenge tour, revenge tour. Revenge tour, revenge.
Smitty, what can I expect out of Garrett Wilson, the magic man? Catching footballs from this guy, Aaron mother-freaking Rodgers, just threading needles left and right. Garrett Wilson catching touchdowns, just bodying everybody in his way, absolutely dominating the space around him. Just a dominant space genius. You know, this guy is a revenge tour number one specialist, sitting here in front of everybody's face at the 11, 12, 13, 14 pick, and some people have the nerve to pass him up. I sometimes do. And I feel ashamed of myself because this guy's deserving of going every single time at 11, 12, 13. But I love running backs. I love taking running backs. I love drafting Gibbs and all these other combos that we're getting at that 11, 12, 13 turn. But we must return at some point to discussing the wide receiver approach, or at least go balance wide receiver Garrett Wilson and then running back. Garrett Wilson Kyron is a fantastic way to start your draft. Garrett Wilson Achane, Garrett Wilson Barkley, Garrett Wilson Gibbs with the hamstring falling to round 2. Who's not here to cook with Garrett Wilson Gibbs, Garrett Wilson Achane, Garrett Wilson Kyron Williams? Tell me now. Put your receipt on screen. Let's drag it over and talk about it.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
But Smitty. Come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey man, it's Devontae Adams again. Call me back, bro.
In your eyes, the light, the heat. Your eyes, incomplete, flawless. Your eyes,
Garrett Wilson and the boys.
your eyes,
Rodgers has new toys.
your eyes,
The lights, the heat.
your
A
eyes,
Jets fan complete.
your eyes,
You don't want to test Sauce Gardner's heat.
your eyes.
I want to watch Brees Hall's quick feet.
Jets country, let's ride.
What a glorious little clip. And we played that over and over and over and over all offseason last year. And we got our heart ripped out. Just ripped out from our chest, every single one of us. It was a brutal experience to watch Aaron Rodgers go down. And do I have PTSD? Do I worry about this happening again? Yeah, of course I do. But, you know, Aaron Rodgers, after he threw this missile strike, this wasn't a little lob. This was an absolute missile strike by Aaron Rodgers. And after he threaded the needle, it just threw this absolute gem to Garrett Wilson. This wasn't one of those catch the football and everybody's two-hand touch and they kind of run to the end zone when everyone's like, I would have tackled them, but I just whatever. Christian McCaffrey caught a pass from Brock Purdy and he got touched by like 4 different players, two-hand touch. And he went to the end zone. Everyone's like, did you see Christian McCaffrey? He had that touchdown today? Like, come on. Like, Keon Coleman's pulling in toe tap, back bending touchdowns, one-handed grabs. Those are touchdowns. Keon Coleman's doing that in practice, in scrimmage, etc. This was one of those plays. Garrett Wilson, just an absolute dart by Aaron Rodgers. And I after he goes running down the field, the reason I brought that up is he's running down the field, Aaron Rodgers, and I forget what offensive lineman he celebrates with, but they jump up and do one of those, amazing like chest bump, shoulder bump rolls, what the kids are doing these days. I would love to do that in the studio if I could get one of those like tackling dummies, and maybe when we do a let's cook button, I could do some sort of jump into it. But watching him do that, I held my breath for a second. I go, oh my God, he's going to land on his Achilles. And he looked fine. He was running downfield. I think Aaron Rodgers is good to go. I worry a little bit about one calf being smaller than the other. That typically happens, and it stays that way for a year. Compensation injuries, hamstring injuries, another calf injury, tearing the other Achilles. It's always on the table. It's always on the table, but I'm feeling very, very good, and I'm going to set my PTSD aside on this Aaron Rodgers Achilles injury from last year. And every time I play this, even though I get a little nervous, come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey man, it's Davante Adams again. Call me back, bro.
Every time I play that, I get a little nervous. I think everybody out there does. You're lying to yourself if you say you're not nervous, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, and I have no worries at this moment in time about Garrett Wilson pulling in an impressive 1,350, maybe 1,400 yards receiving, 100-plus receptions. This guy's going to get peppered by Aaron Rodgers. Absolute straight pepper job. He's getting a pepper job.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
Newly coined on the channel. Pepper job. That's what I'm talking about. He's getting one of those on the field every week. And Aaron Rodgers is just going to make this guy a 100 reception, 1,400 receiving yard player with minimum. I'm disappointed if he gets no less than 12 touchdowns. He's getting over 12 touchdowns. Over 12 touchdowns, over 100 receptions. We'll call it over 1,350 to 1,400 yards. Pepper job season. Let's cook.
Let him cook.
Drop some peppers in the chat. Pepper emojis only. Pepper jobs. Let's go. Pepper emojis only. Hashtag pepper job. Freddie is on the line here. Freddie, what is up, my guy? If I remember correctly, you're in the middle of your draft, or you're getting a draft order of some kind, and you're here to share that.
Third pick, my dude.
Third pick. What does Freddie do with the third pick in a 12-team league? Is it one QB, right, Freddie? Is it full PPR?
Sir. Yes.
Okay, full PPR. Freddie, do you think there's a shot in hell you get Kyren or Achane with your second-round pick? How are we feeling about that?
I already got my buddy, and sadly, because I'm with my best friends, one of them already said no. Although I wish the answer was yes.
So you're not getting either one of them. Okay, you've got to decide. You've got to decide for yourself if you're going lamb chops, Tyreek Hill, or Bijan Robinson with this third pick. But
you know where we're going, brother.
Yeah, either way, I'm good. You're fantastic. No matter what, I do wonder what you're going to get in round 2. And if it's going to be, let's say, is it all right if I spit out names? I'm not ruining it for you. You're not next to somebody that's going to snipe you or anything. Are you sure?
No.
Okay. Debo's going to be fantastic. I just mentioned drafting Cooper Kupp in round 2 takes away some of the buzz. But look, worst case scenario, Achane, Kyren, Debo are gone. I'm not drafting some of these guys people are forcing to the top. I hope to God you get one of Kyrie. I think you're going to get one of Kyren or Achane. I really do.
Ooh,
I think you're gonna. You're gonna. According to the ADP data, this ADP data that I have in front of me is from. Let's see here. It's an average. It's an average of all of the datas in the industry. I'm looking at it, and it has Kyren Williams at 16. And then it has Achane at 25. So I can't imagine both of them are gone by your second round pick. But anything's possible, bro. You know, your league might be wide receiver or running back hungry. And if that's the case, then maybe you need to grab that RB at that 3 spot. You know what I'm talking about, right? Can I hit the button?
Yeah.
Can I hit the button? Are we ruining anything?
Do, sir.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Touchdown!
Bijan, like Garrett Wilson's going to get a pepper job every single Sunday, pal. They're going to pepper this man with targets over and over and over. And if I had to say what makes Bijan different than Breece Hall, even though we love Breece Hall is going to Saturn.
To Saturn.
Even though I love Breece Hall, and he's capable of being the RB1. The difference is Bijan is the goal line back. Bijan's the top receiving back. Bijan's the top rushing back. He has all of it dialed in. And the likelihood of him having more total yards than anybody, him and Hall could be very close on that because Hall gets so many receiving yards. But the likelihood of having the most total yards, or at least be right there with Hall and a few others, Bijan's locked in there. But the odds of him having the most total touchdowns, to me, is the best odds in the league. Because this guy's going to be thrown to the tune of 60-plus receptions. He's going to be run to the tune of 240, 250 totes on the ground. He's going to flirt with 10 rushing touchdowns, flirt with 4 or 5 receiving touchdowns. He's going to flirt with 14, 15, 16. This would be the guy, if there's anybody in the National Football League at the RB position that could breach the 18, 19, 20 total touchdown mark this year, it to me is Bijan Robinson without a hesitation. And
Amen.
It is what it is. We got somebody in here continuously saying fade Atlanta, fade Atlanta, fade Atlanta. And I don't know if you think you're sinking in, Brady, into this community. Like if you're somehow resonating, that you're planting seeds and these little hate blossoms are going to grow. I got news for you, Brady. You don't know what room you're in. Take a look around. Read the room, Brady. You're in a Falcon zone. We're not Falcon fans per se, necessarily. Some people are. We're a Falcon player zone. Kirk Cousins, Penix Jr., safest QB room in the entire league, Brady. And, that Penix pick was a bad pick. They should have went edge rusher. Should they have, Brady? Because they went and got Judon for a ham sandwich. Then they improved their safety situation. Best 1-2 punch maybe in the league. The defense just got crazy, crazy good. To the point where the Atlanta Falcons are one of the hottest defensive special teams defensive pickups of the week. They're climbing up dynasty draft boards. People are scooping up Atlanta left and right, as they should. And you're in here saying fade, 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 fade. Atlanta? What in the hell are we talking about, Brady?
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Brady, go get me a coffee, cream and sugar, stat, pal, stat. Freddie, what can I help you with real quick? I know you got to go. You got a draft to go to. What do I need to help you with to assist you in winning your league? Hit me with it.
Honestly, brother, just one weird request. If you could just wish us a fun season. That's it. Just it's a fun year. Everything you do is awesome, and I'm with my best friend, regardless of anything. I know we're all against each other, but just if you just wish us a fun season, and I'll shut up.
What's your buddy's name?
Kyle.
Kyle, go tear it up. Go tear it up, Kyle. Don't snipe him, but go tear it up.
Hey, I'm a 2-time champion.
Okay. You don't need to hear.
They don't need to hear that. Freddie goes, this is my call. This is my they don't need to hear. All right, guys, go tear it up. Appreciate you later.
Yeah.
You hear? I'm here. Nothing matters. Just with my best friend, who is the only. Shut up. Stop talking. Stop taking the stage from me. Anyway, let's see. Go ahead, boys. Take Drake. Why are you always talking capitals? Anybody that talks in capital letters all the time is somebody no offense, Brady. Put your earmuffs on, Brady. Someone I never listen to. I don't barely even read their comments. There's something about Brady. Keep your earmuffs on. I got a psych degree. I have a psychology degree for a reason, Brady. For looking at these types of situations, I got my eye on you. And anytime someone writes in all capitals, they're seeking attention so badly. They want people to know, not only do they yell while they're typing it, they want them to read it. They want them to read it in yelling fashion. Who here, have you ever met somebody that just irritates the hell out of you? that types in all caps? Does somebody that types in all caps not irritate you? I'll answer the question. I've never met somebody that types in all caps that does not irritate the hell out of me. Brady, your Bijan card is being revoked.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Brady, I know this is probably your first year playing fantasy. We welcome you here. Not everybody knows ball, Brady, and I'm definitely here to assist you if you need it, pal, okay? So we're here for you. All you got to do is just take in the information, take one finger. First step, bro. Take one finger, press down that cap lock button, and just let it go. Let it go, Brady. Just let it go with the wind, pal. Let it go with the wind. Let it go like your fantasy season is going to go down the drain if you keep this fade the Atlanta Falcons nonsense up. Let's hit the super chats that are waiting right here for me. Cam says Stroud and Worthy for Love and Mostert. I'm going to take Stroud and Worthy, but I love the idea of you getting Mostert and Achane paired up together, but I'm going to go ahead and say give me Stroud and Worthy, but very, very close call. And if I thought that Mostert was going to stay healthy all year, I think he's going to ball for the games he plays. I'd probably say, make that move, but I think Worthy's going to have a big year. 14-team Yahoo draft, have to start 3 wide receivers. Do I go Wilson or Gibbs at 11? It's hard to say, man. I mean, I would waiver myself. I'd waiver sitting there and probably go Garrett Wilson in hopes that Gibbs, because of the hammy, falls. And if he doesn't, go Kyren. So you want balance, go Garrett Wilson no matter what, and let the board take care of you. If they take Gibbs off the board, then go Kyren or go Achane. And I'm smashing the hell out of that. Bottom line is, there's something to taking Garrett Wilson at 11, at 10, at 12, and having yourself peace of mind that balance does bring you into a very comfortable situation inside round number 3. As I say, best player available is the only strategy. As I say, oftentimes 10, 11, 12, running back is presented by best player available, our friend, as the best opportunity at the 10, 11, 12 draft selections. However, you want balance. Balance is sometimes the best way to go. Makes you sleep like a baby. Also allows you in the round 3, 4 territory to not navigate toward bias and say, well, I need a wide receiver. And you talk yourself into taking a player you don't even want to take. You're afforded the luxury of whatever you want to do in 3 and 4, you can do because you went wide receiver, running back, or running back, wide receiver. So there is some advantages, big advantages to going Garrett Wilson. This is what this show's about. And I don't want to hear somebody will come in and say, Smitty, you've been talking this all year long. You've been saying, you love to go running back. Do you think that we don't cover every single draft strategy, Steve? Not everybody wants to draft the same player in every single draft. There's something called diversifying your portfolio. You like Apple stock? Is it wise to put all your money in Apple stock, Steve? The answer is no. So you're always going to get me coming in, doing shows with different angles to give everybody an opportunity to try every strategy they love. And some people are good at wide receiver. Some people are not good at wide receiver. Some people are great at drafting late running back or great at drafting late wide receiver. And so you need to draft the way that works for you. And if you are a great balance type approach drafter, then this show is going to help you. If you are dead set on going to RB, and you think best player available will open that door, and it most certainly will, because I could argue Garrett Wilson, Gibbs, or I could argue Kyren and Achane in round 1 and 2 at the turn. I could argue all of those are best player available, capable. So it's a matter of choice and perspective and preference at a certain point. But I don't want to hear, why are you talking running back one day and wide receiver running back? Because there are options to be had. And when I draft on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, and I'll drop the link right now. You guys, midnights we draft on Underdog Fantasy. We got gifted memberships, 5 from Coble and 10 gifted memberships. Let me see if I can fix this. 10 from Shaggy, coming in strong. And we got a gifted membership from, who is this? From Aber, I think it was. Appreciate you dropping that gifted membership. I just dropped the link to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 now. For a limited time, you drop $500, 50% off or 50% your first deposit, they will match. So if you drop 500, they'll do 250. If you drop 1,000, they'll do 500. You drop 2,000, they'll give you 1,000. The minimum is only $10 though. So if you do 10, they'll give you 5. They'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. Anyway, so Ryan, appreciate your $10 hauler. Banky, please put yourself on mute real quick. I'll be right with you, Banky. If you're able to wait, if you can't wait, call back. But if you can wait, just mute yourself and be right with you. Finally, someone who advocates best player available. Always, Ryan. Always. Please rate my redraft team 10-0.5 in order. Bijan, Kyren, Achane, love it. Hurts, love it. I would do this. Ryan, if you're looking for a content creator that promotes, not just says, I'd okay with it. I'll promote Bijan, Kyren, Achane, Hurts. Bijan, Kyren, Achane, Mahomes. Bijan, Kyren, Achane, whatever. I will do that. I will do that every single time. Throw in one wide receiver, then McBride. I do that every day, all day. You got DK and Dell on top of McBride and Hurts with the 3 RBs. I question who you're drafting with. I don't question you, Ryan. I question whether everybody's alive and well. Are there 9 other pulses in the room when you drafted? I don't know if you went down to the local, nursing home and handed out little cards and said, hey, draft, take a nap, whatever you got to do. Drafts at 11 p.m. These guys drafted at 11 p.m. at a nursing home. That's why he has that team. Doesn't matter, though, Ryan, because you're winning the league. You're winning.
To the moon.
Got a little delay on the board today. Ryan, appreciate you. Rate your team 9.5. Probably the highest score I will probably ever give. I think I'll give it 9.9 someday. But the problem is I don't give 9.9s to the best teams because sometimes I look at it and I say, he's drafting with a bunch of grandmas. Like, sometimes people go overboard. They have too good of a team, and it's not even impressive anymore. You're borderline not even impressive. That team's so good. Ryan, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Trade Gibbs for JJ. In redraft, I would say I'd rather have Gibbs. In Dynasty, I might rather have JJ just because of the longevity of the wide receiver. But it's a close call. But Gibbs for me for redraft. I know that might surprise some people, especially with the hamstring. But okay, this one got the 5-pick full PPR. Running backs most likely going to be gone. Who's your favorite receiver? Got the 5-pick. So, I mean, I'm going Tyreek Hill or Lamb. And if I can help it, it's Bijan, Hill, or Lamb, and then Tyreek is right there too. So like those 3 guys. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, the 5-pick. If you can't get one of those guys, then CMC is going to be there, and then I think Jamar Chase is still in the conversation. I mean, Breece Hall. There's nothing wrong with Breece Hall at 5. I think that's fine by me. If Bijan's gone, if CMC's gone, I'll go Breece Hall. If you're down to Lamb and Hill and you don't want Chase right now, I can understand that. You go Breece Hall and you don't look back. That's fine. If the New York Jets drafted Rattler and Milton, I'd be high on Garrett Wilson. Well, they drafted Travis. Jordan Travis is pretty good, bro. I wouldn't be too down on him. He's a very, very good prospect. They did a good job at least bringing in 1 QB. But I agree. I would love to see Rattler on the team. Luke, appreciate your $5 hauler. I can keep 2. 1 lock and 2 to flip a coin for. Superflex PPR Hurts, obviously your lock. And then Bijan, Breece, Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Achane, which one is a lock? And then 2 to flip a coin on. 2 to flip a coin for. Okay, you're using numbers and confusing the hell out of me, Luke, but I think I get what you're saying. So keep 2, you're keeping Hurts. No question. He's a top 3 overall pick in the Superflex, so you smash that. I'm going Bijan. I mean, if I'm taking Bijan at number 1 overall in a 1 QB, then he's going to be my keeper here, right? Because there's no other quarterback to keep. I'm keeping Bijan. Bijan's a smash. That is an elite duo, but try and trade Breece Hall to somebody to move like your 2nd rounder up into the 1st, or to move your 3rd rounder up into the 2nd, or move your 5th rounder up into the 4th. Like, trade Breece Hall away so you're not, just losing that. unless you think you could draft him back and you don't want to take that opportunity away from you based on the pick that you get, at the next selection. AR5, Kyren, Rachaad White, St. Brown, Nico, Monty, Keenan Allen, Mostert, Keon Coleman. I'm almost there. Banky, just wait for me, pal. Any trade ideas for this team? I mean, I love the idea of maybe moving Rachaad White. I love Kyren. I love AR5. I love St. Brown. I even love Nico at that value. Monty's crafty. I don't mind that at all. Keon, don't trade him. CD, Keon Coleman. Okay, looked like CD Lamb. There's CD, and that's Dalton Schultz and Keon C. Okay, gotcha. I was like, the CD Lamb in there. A-Rod, rate this. Your team's good. I think your team's probably like a 7.5. You need one move, I think, to be a team that's going to be considered, in my mind, a top 4 team lock. I'd probably say I'm moving Rachaad White, and maybe I'm trying to get my hands on Achane somehow. So Rachaad White, you've got Mostert, Rachaad White, and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had a good day in practice today, and I don't buy that it's going to linger all year long, to be honest. So Keenan Allen and Monty, Keenan Allen, and Rachaad White going and getting an Achane and something would be my first plan of attack. And if not, I mean, there are other RBs that I very much like in that territory. Barkley is one. Wouldn't mind using that combo to get a top 5 or 6 wide receiver. Some people are scared of Jamar Chase right now. Poke around at that. See if that could be something you could look at. Ray G with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ray G, the man, the myth, the legend, Smitty. I have Allen, Josh Allen, JD5, Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Dell, Worthy, Coleman, Goddard. Where should I have done better? This is I assume a 1 QB league. Josh Allen, Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Dell, Worthy, Coleman. You couldn't have gone better. To go RB or to go Josh Allen and to still get Bijan, Gibbs, and Achane, you're flexing, Ray G. We're all just looking at this team going, is it a 4-man or a 6-man, Ray G? Because how did you get Josh Allen on top of Bijan, Gibbs, and Achane and Dell? That's wild. That's got to be an 8-man league. It has to be an 8-man league. There's no other way, no other explanation for it. What a team. What a freaking team, pal. At a 9.5 out of 10. Easily. And the only reason I don't give it a 10 is because I don't know all the details. Like, that's a smash. Do I make any trades? You don't need to make trades. I love Worthy. I love Coleman. I love Tank Dell. I don't know what you could even trade because I wouldn't want you to get rid of any one of those guys. Banky, let me help you real quick. Let me put these super chats on screen real fast so that I have them all here and everybody knows I'm coming for them. James, Elgin, Ember, appreciate you, and OTP. I'm coming for all your super chats right here. I'm going to put them right here, and let me just help Banky real quick. Banky, you're live. What can I do for you?
Yeah, real quick, Smitty. I just had to call let you know that Caleb Williams is your daddy. Stop disrespecting him and stop being in denial. He's a baller. Stop hating, boy. Yeah,
you think so, huh? Oh, really good take. You didn't even have a conversation. Banky just wanted to call in and rip off something, read it, and then he just hangs up because he doesn't know how to debate. So, Banky, you keep looking at 1 or 2 preseason plays and acting like this guy is the absolute rising star, next Patrick Mahomes. Blasphemy. Could he be good from a fantasy perspective like Fields was? Absolutely he could. He's got the physical talent to. But did you notice that Shane Waldron, your offensive coordinator, 3 and out, tried to go 3 and out again. Thank God Caleb did save him and scramble around, but your offense, your play calling doesn't look, it looks like it did with Fields back there. So, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be some fantasy success. But what a lame call. I'm gonna scream real quick and hang up so Smitty can't yell at me. Elgin, appreciate you. Smitty, do you like Ladd McConkey in Dynasty? No, not very much, bro. I don't like anything Chargers right now. I don't want any part of it. First Herbert's injured right now, and they say it could linger all year long. Thoughts on Bengals comments on AR5? What comment specifically? A lot was said. So, James, I think AR5 is going to be an absolute monster. Absolute straight-up monster. But what specific comment were you talking about, James? Put it in the chat. I'll come looking for it. Amber Rama. Is the tripod possible with the 1.1 in Superflex? Let's see. So you get Mahomes or Josh Allen. And then, yeah, I mean, easily. I mean, probably even more so than in any other format because you got so many quarterbacks going. You might get the tripod with Josh Allen, and then you're gonna get maybe Kyren and even like Gibbs if you want, and then you'll be fine at wide receiver. And then you just go with the late QB approach that I keep preaching, where you're grabbing Cousins and Penix Jr. and you're smashing the hell out of it, bro. Let's see here. OTP 10-man Granny League, picking from the 8 spot. How do you feel about the first 4 picks being Gibbs, Kyren, and Kelsey and Mahomes? I love it. This is the kind of stuff I do. But in Granny Leagues, you're getting Tank Dell and maybe even Devontae Smith or a DK Metcalf on top of this, even waiting. I venture to say, if this is something that you've actually done and you're just asking me about, I bet you got a receiver like that. If you didn't, you might have crapped the bed on the receiver drafting part. But, I mean, you could get Worthy, Rice, and Tank Dell. You could literally have this team right here. Gibbs, Kyren, Kelsey, Mahomes, not touch a wide receiver until the 5th round. Grab Tank Dell, get Worthy, Rashee Rice, and you're smashing the hell out of everybody. This is the year to do the sneaky wide receiver drafting, because you have so many rookies injected into the player pool that alone are going to help out the wide receiver pool. It's crazy. Should I trade for a running back too? I got Hurts, AJB, Debo, Kyren, Chase Brown, Kincaid, Rice, Ridley, Corum, Ford. You could, but like at what cost? Like could you trade? I don't know that you want to trade your receivers away. Then you got a problem there. Like you got good receivers, but it's not super. It's deep enough down here that you can maybe trade like a Ridley, who I like a lot. Ridley and Ford, maybe Ridley and Ridley and Ford. I don't know. Ridley and Ford, like what could you get? Ridley and Chase Brown for a slight upgrade, like a Jacobs or something like that. But other than that, I mean, I'm actually liking the squad. It's kind of crafty. You got Kyren cuffed, you got Debo, you got AJ Brown at Hurts. It's good. Kincaid, you're fantastic. You could potentially downgrade Kincaid into a player that we like a little bit. A player we like a little bit. There's somebody at the front door. Who the hell is this? Who is at the front door right now? What is this lady doing? She's got a purse. And it looks like she's up to no good. Maybe trying to steal one of our packages. The Amazon driver just dropped off a package, and now she's at our door. Maybe he dropped off the wrong package. I don't know. Maybe we should ask Bijan or CeeDee Lamb at the 1 pick on the speaker here. I think Miss Smitty took care of it. Anyway, I like this. I like this team. Maybe Kincaid could get you an RB like Jacobs or something like that. That would be the only other thing I can think of. Other than that, I'm standing pat. You're so locked and loaded that if Chase Brown works out, you're crushing, bro. You're absolutely crushing. Opinions on a 10-team full PPR squad, double flex, Mahomes, Bijan, K9, MHJ, Waddle, Goddard, benches, Zamir White, McLaurin. Really good team. Ridley and Zamir White, McLaurin and Zamir White, Chase Brown and Ridley. Can you get that extra piece to go in, let's say, as you got Bijan and K9, you're fine there. How about K9? And I love K9, but K9 and maybe Ridley, K9 and Chase Brown, trying to get a top 5 running back. Trying to trade Zamir White or Chase Brown with McLaurin, with Ridley, to try and get a top 6 wide receiver, top 7 wide receiver. Somebody kind of floating under the radar. Cooper Kupp would be fantastic beacons to go get in that scenario. Cooper Kupp would be a target of mine. I forget if you had Achane be a target, Kyren be a target. I think you had one of them, Kyren. Definitely going after whichever running back you didn't have in that group. and then going and getting myself a Cooper Kupp would be a great move. $10 hauler from my boy Alec. Alec, appreciate you dropping the 10 wad. And phone lines will be open after this. Should I trade for a running back 2? I got Hurts, AJB, Debo. Already answered this one. Thank you, Alec. Appreciate you. Phone lines are open. Dial in, dial in, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Dial in, dial in. Tell me what you think about the Revenge Tour candidates. Do you like them? Do you not like them? What do you think? What do you hear? What do you say? Okay. And then we got to fix this for gifted memberships. We had gifted memberships coming in, and I didn't have the alerts going. I don't know what's going on with the alerts. Usually when I fix this and just add something and reset it, it usually does something. So this hopefully will turn on the gifted membership alert. I don't know what's going on with it, but it is what it is. Hopefully it fixes it right now. Somebody could test it and we'll see. Let's go to 857 caller. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Corey Jones, Boston.
Corey from Boston. What can I do for you, Corey from Boston? You're live.
All right, listen. This year I got the number 1 pick. Where should I go with it? Because I'm hearing Bijan, CMC, Breece Hall. I'm confused.
Well, I mean, it's not an easy question. I mean, there's a lot of great players. Bijan is probably the way I would go if you think RB is your plan of attack. I mean, only you could know what best player available means to you in your league. Do running backs get gobbled up like crazy? Does everybody go early wide receiver? If running backs go early, I'm going Bijan. I love Lamb, but Lamb is an injury risk. I love Chase. He's an injury risk. Tyreek Hill now has a removable cast on his hand, but he appears to be, I think, okay, but like still worrisome. You know, there's a lot of injury concerns for all the top wide receivers. JJ's got his problems. For me, I'm kind of a let's go with the Tank Dells and let's go with the Debos and let's go with those guys as my number 1 wide receiver, number 2 wide receiver, and let's stack up on RBs. This is the revenge of the RB this year. The revenge of Cooper Kupp and Garrett Wilson for sure, but also the revenge of the RBs. I think Bijan's coming for everybody as well.
You know what? You're so right on point with that one. It is the revenge of the RB. So I was thinking RB, then hit the receiver.
Hell yeah!
If Kupp, because I got the number 1 pick. If Kupp falls to the end of the second, that's probably too early.
No. Because no, I don't think it's fine because he'll be your 3rd drafted player in theory, right? In principle, make him the 3.1. Just nestle him right there. If Kyron or Achane are there at 24, bro. Smash the hell out of it. Okay, Bijan and Kyron, Bijan and Achane, Bijan and Barkley. And if he's not there, don't even be scared of going Josh Allen, Cooper Kupp. I like early QB more than most, so take that into account. But at the same time, bro, we're talking about the guy that has been the number 1 QB. Look at this board here. This is unreal. Number 1 QB, number 1 overall score in fantasy. He's been 1-2-1-1 the past 4 seasons in a row. 1-2-1-1. That said, okay, I'm going to confuse you because I just made you think, okay, I'm going to maybe go Josh Allen. I love Mahomes. I love Mahomes even better if he falls. The problem is with your pick at the 1-2 or at the 1 pick, so you have the 2-3 turn. I highly doubt you're getting him at the 4 or 5 turn. So Josh Allen Josh Allen seems fitting for your particular draft spot. You could go Mahomes that early, but I think I like playing the ADP game with Mahomes because he gives you so much bang for your buck.
He does.
You're building in the risk, but there's nothing wrong with going like Debo, Kupp, and Bijan, and then you go AR5 or Stroud later.
Debo, Kupp, or Bijan.
You know,
because I know we could find that QB because I know we don't have to go for the top QBs all the time. If we could build our roster.
Yeah, but it's apples to apples. This is what I always tear down anybody's argument that says this. If you're taking Josh Allen at the 2-3 turns. So let's say you get Josh Allen at that 3.1.
Yep.
It's all apples to apples, bro. If later on you're grabbing, let's say in so this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say you grab Joe Burrow or Love. Let's say Love. We all love Jordan Love. You take Jordan Love in round 7.
Of course.
The receiver, like who are you getting here in this pick right here at this 3rd round pick? Let's say it's because you're getting Cooper Kupp already. Who would be the other one? Waddle. Like Waddle's a good player. He's a good 3rd round player. So even if it was somebody that had a lot of value like Waddle, you got to ask yourself, who is this pick right here? Who are you getting in 7 that's comparable to Waddle enough to say that Love's crushing Jordan Love or Josh Allen's crushing Jordan Love? I love Jordan Love, but but Josh Allen is crushing everyone. So if you give me Worthy, you give me even a potential Coleman there.
Terry, maybe?
Who?
Terry McLaurin?
Oh, McLaurin, Scary Terry. Yeah, Scary Terry and Josh Allen compete with Jordan Love and Waddle. They do. So I get what you're saying, and I get why people want to wait, and I wait all the time too. The thing that's going to make you annihilate your league on weight on a quarterback is if you can find the next Jalen Hurts like we did on this channel. Jalen Hurts was a 6-7 round pick, Moon Man extraordinaire. We didn't have a Saturn or a Marsman then. It was just Moon Man. And Jalen Hurts was on the very select few. There was I think there was like 14 guys on it. Just 14, that was it. And Jalen Hurts was on it. It won leagues. So you get that player. If you believe that player's AR5 or Stroud, then wait a little bit and grab those guys, their top 1, 2, or 3, and then you can win your league off that. All right, hey, got to roll.
Awesome.
Pal, I'll see you later, Corey.
Appreciate it. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, 808 caller, you're live, and then I got to go over to Ethan. 808 caller, you're live. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Mason. I'm calling from Arizona.
What's up, Mason? What can I do for you?
Smitty, I need an explanation on this Achane train, okay? I just don't understand it. I think the hype is just maybe just too much for y'all to handle, so maybe y'all just throw him up there.
Yeah, it might be it. That might be it. We might just be completely blind, just throwing it up.
He's not even a starter.
He isn't?
To take Zamir White off of the...
He's not a starter?
But to have Achane so high up there, not even a starter.
He's not a starter?
I need that information.
Ma, did you hear Achane's not a starter? Ma's got meatloaf cooking. She's going to run it here in a tizzy. Absolutely upset that Achane isn't starting games.
Okay, maybe you might start a few, but the Mostert is still there. With the 2-year extension, he's supposed to be there for work.
I hope he's there. I hope Mostert eats, bro. I hope Mostert eats like crazy.
But he's going to eat way more than the youngest.
He is? Yeah, so this guy here, bro, this guy here was a top 5 running back in 40% of his games. He was a top 10 running back in 50% of his games. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're wrong. He's absolutely a top 5 running back every time he's practically playing.
But it's about opportunities.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is.
Has way more opportunity than Achane.
Not much more than you think. Achane was getting so much volume whenever he was on the field, bro. That's why he's playing and ranking the way he was. The amount of upside that Achane has as the best running back in the National Football League in history of the NFL at yards per carry 7.8. This guy is the most electric player we've ever seen. And I don't think, no offense, I don't think you understand the offense that's going on there in Miami. I don't think you have a clue. I don't think you've watched the game. Otherwise, you know that Achane is a starter. He plays a wide back role, bro. This is Mike McDaniel's the architect of Deebo Samuel. And he comes over to San Francisco and turns this man into a wide back, but inverse variety. Achane's protected. He's got so much volume coming his way. This is a special offense we've never seen before, bro. And I want Mostert right out there as much as they were last year. That's the part that's laughable to me. is that this guy, all he's got to do is get what he got last year, bro, but just play all the games. So you could come back and say, well, that's the thing. He's going to get hurt. Then you're arguing a whole nother argument. You're going down another rabbit hole instead of staying focused and talking about what you're talking about. When he played, he dominated everyone. He was a top 10 running back in 50% of his games, bro.
Very true, yeah. I didn't know he started in the personnel, yeah. I thought he was the backup, but for him to start in the personnel, I completely understand.
Well, they rotate these guys for sure, but they also play them on the field at the same time. And starting in name doesn't mean anything. This guy's out there getting so much volume. He's getting fed so much volume. He's going to catch 4, 5, 6 passes a game. He's going to get 12 to 14 carries a game. He's going to opportunities will be in the top 10 in the National Football League. And that's all that you care about. You can't look at this and say with this closed-mindedness that, oh, they can only have room for one RB. You can't start or play guys in fantasy or expect top 5 to 10 fantasy running back seasons out of guys that are in crowded rooms. This is the Miami Dolphins. We've never seen an offense like this ever. So you have to think differently with this offense. You have to draft differently with this offense. Your expectation for the running game has to be different than it's ever been before. And if you just use history to say, oh, you can't have guys going nuts at the running back position, multiple players, look at last year. And Mostert's going to probably get hurt at some point this year. I think he'll ball out in the beginning of the year. I think Wright comes in and does very well. I think that if Achane, because he put on about 10 pounds, bro. And Miami Mike, I don't know if you watch any of what Miami Mike says about him. He talks about him constantly. He can't stop talking about him. How good he is. How the team is so different when he's on the field. That he's a magic man. He's a big play maker. He's the biggest playmaker in the National Football League. They want to get the ball in his hands. And his opportunities will be up there with anybody. That's all you got to worry about and focus on are the opportunities. Don't think about, oh, he's not getting enough carries up the gut. That's not his game. He's a half wide receiver, half running back. And he is protected into a wide back role that has designed plays for him, much like Debo. Debo, everybody says if Ayuk stays, Debo's value goes down. It doesn't. Debo is going to get what Debo is going to get. He is designed into the offense with special plays, architected from the beginning by Miami Mike McDaniel, who's doing the same thing he did with Debo with Devon Achane. And it's in the numbers, bro. It's in the numbers. This guy played very little last year. And your argument could be he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt. That's fine. There's not much I can say other than I disagree on that particular argument. But you haven't even mentioned that. But as far as he's not going to get enough work, then how did he finish his RB1? How did he finish his RB5? How did he finish his RB4? Those were back-to-back-to-back games, bro. How did he finish? And this one, he came right out, so you don't even really count this Week 11 game. And if you take that out, his numbers go up even more dramatically. Top 5 running back in probably 50% of his games. Top 10 running back in probably 65% of his games. But this guy played in back-to-back-to-back games. Running back 1, running back 5, running back 4, running back 3. In full games, back-to-back-to-back-to-back full games, this guy was not outside the top 5 in 4 straight games.
Very efficient.
Take a look at it, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Smitty, I appreciate it.
All right,
I see the train right now. It's very more clear, and I appreciate.
I don't know if you're joking. I don't know if you're trolling me on that, but I appreciate you. Later.
No. I do appreciate it because I actually understand it way more better now. All right. You're just here to explain it better. Thank you.
All right, man. I mean to yell at you. Later. Later.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right, Ethan, you're live. I'm sorry about the wait, Ethan. Ethan's been waiting for 74 hours.
How are you doing tonight?
What?
I said, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, bro.
That's good. I want to talk about Garrett Wilson. So I don't have any shares in Garrett Wilson at all. I've been staying away from him. I mean, because I'm been concerned with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, and then the possibility of
Adams
getting traded. Yeah. Where would you draft him? Like, who would you?
I mean, did
like,
you watch the beginning of the show, Ethan? I mean, if you're here, we talked about it the whole show. We've been here live for an hour and 4 minutes talking about how he's a smash at 11, 12, 10, 13. It just depends on what you want to do. Do you want to go RB?
Yeah.
You're fine going RB. You want to avoid Garrett Wilson? I'm not going to make you take a lap for avoiding Garrett Wilson, because what you're probably drafting is Kyron. What you're probably drafting is Gibbs. Who you're probably drafting is even MHJ or Puka. Like, you can't really get mad. AJ Brown, you can't get mad at anybody for wanting to go in any of those directions at all. But Garrett Wilson is not slipping past 12, 13, 14, so you're just taking him in his ADP. And that's fine, and he can absolutely crush it. Why? How can he crush ADP at 10, 11, 12? Because all he has to do is become a top 4 or 5 wide receiver, and he literally climbs up an entire half a round. Like, when you're talking about being a top 12 pick, half a round is everything. That's like saying a half a second in a 40-yard dash is nothing, because you're analyzing half a second in a mile run. A mile run in a half a second is nothing. But a half a second in a 40-yard dash is everything. So when you're talking about a very short amount of time, picks 1 through 11, finishing as the number 5 overall player or receiver that deserves to be in the top 5 overall, let's say, and he's going 11 or 12, that's double his value. He's climbing up, or half of his value he's climbing up. So he's doubling his where your cost is double of where he went, or should have went in hindsight. But I mean, bro, you could be afraid of Aaron Rodgers. I get it, and he could tear his other Achilles tendon. More likely to tear his other Achilles tendon than to re-rupture. But like, I mean, you don't have one league you can roll with. Ziggy, show me the front door. You don't have one league you can say, hey, let's ride this train one more time.
I can just do another one. Garrett Wilson. But I don't know. I just I definitely see the upside. Like, I definitely can see him be easily top 3. But Aaron Rodgers can't get hurt. I don't think he could be top 5 if Adams gets traded. I don't know, which he could. I don't know.
Yeah, but are you really gonna run away from a situation on a beat reporter that's writing that and making a claim that the Raiders should trade Davante Adams away? Let me ask you a question. Trading Davante Adams away, did that come from the Raiders, do you think? Like, would the Raiders speak about that? No. 0% of it. 0% came from the Raiders. Now, does it make sense? Logical sense? Does sometimes something like that get kicked around and get put in motion, and then even the team hears it, the fan base starts chanting for it, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes a knocking on the door, and you're like, okay, yeah, maybe this does make sense. Sure, it could unfold that way because it's very logical that if they're failing and Adams has this 1.5 years left, that they want to get value for him, and they want to give him the ability to go play somewhere because he's super unhappy and he's going to hold in. He's going to get injured in week 14 like I predicted Jacobs and Adams would last year, where I said that one of them would get injured, and Jacobs got injured and protected his body, and why play for nothing? So they're going to maybe have Adams sit out with a phantom injury anyway in week 10, 11, 12, 13. Who knows how bad they're doing. But at the end of the day, Ziggy off. At the end of the day, bro, you can't worry about what some beat reporter wrote or an ESPN anchor said. Hey, it makes sense to have an Adams trade. Like, we can't draft around that. We can't worry about that.
I mean, if I was Davante Adams too, I'm trying to get back with Aaron Rodgers. It makes sense.
But JD5 and Ayuk were hanging out, and that looked like it was going to happen, and it never did. So I don't know. I don't know that Aaron Rodgers can will it.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Plus, I don't know if the Raiders. No offense. I know Silver isn't here. I know he's a big Raider fan, and Silver, I apologize in advance for my Raider down talk, but I was right last year in down talking the Raiders, talking down Jimmy Garoppolo, talking down how Adams would be more frustrated than any receiver's ever been, and he absolutely was. getting hospital balls all year long. I just think it's going to happen again. He's going to be frustrated. He's going to want out. It makes logical sense that they trade him. And who wants him more than Aaron Rodgers? Nobody. But we'll have to see what happens. Sometimes the team's thriving and there's good rapport, and you know that if you went to Garrett Wilson and said, "Hey, we're winning. We're projected to be a 12-win team," and you go to Garrett Wilson and you say, "What do you think about Adams coming over?" We don't need it. Let's not mess with the core and the continuity of this offense. And you might even see Aaron Rodgers not even speak of it, because things are flowing. So don't make moves off of that. All right, Ethan, got to go. Appreciate you, bro. Go real quick.
And the thing is, like, if it was just one or the other, I wouldn't even be concerned. But with both of those there, I've just been kind of avoiding it. But
okay, enjoy the Garrett Wilson celebrations on Sundays when we come in here at night. All right, later.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
It's gonna be a sad day when you come in and we're like, Garrett Wilson, he's like, I'm not gonna watch this show tonight. 984 caller, you're live. Who am I talking to?
Smitty, this is Kevin.
What's up, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna come to you in one second. Kevin, where are you calling from, Kevin?
All right. I'm not. My name's Durham, North Carolina.
Sorry, Kevin, where are you calling from?
Keith, actually, from New Hampshire.
Keith, shut up, Keith. Kevin, where are you calling from?
North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina.
Okay, Keith, you're hold on. You said North Carolina, or Keith, where did you say you were calling from?
I'm in New Hampshire.
Okay, Keith, mute yourself real quickly. You're the 603 caller, right, Keith? Okay, here we go. I think he is. All right, let me go back to Kevin from North Carolina. Kevin, go ahead. You're live.
All right. So I have 4 picks. Just a quick question. It's a 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, and 2 flex league. So I'm still into Bijan Love this year.
Attaboy.
That's kind of where I'm leaning. But with it being a 3 wide receiver league, do you think it would be smarter to go Amon-Ra St. Brown there
instead of
Bijan?
No.
At the 4th spot, assuming CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop.
No, it doesn't make me scared to go wide receiver because then you're drafting positions and not players. You'll always hear me say draft a player, not a position. I will say it does influence my best player available. Like people need to understand, best player available does not mean who's the top ranked player on the ranking that you have pre-draft or especially the ADP. Best player available means when you're on the clock and this ever evolves, who is the best player available for not only my situation, but my league type, how quick running backs are going to go. It counts for everything. You're just asking yourself an internal question. Who smashes the most, has the best risk versus reward? Sometimes they're a little bit riskier. It's not like you have to take the least risky player, but who has the best combination of everything? Who is the best bang for the buck? It sounds so simple. Take the best pick on the board. It sounds so simple, bro, but it's the same struggle NFL teams have. Adrian Peterson got passed over and passed over and passed over. Why? Because we didn't need a running back. They didn't take the best player available. How'd that work out? Make some moves, figure it out. I'm not saying draft 2 QBs in a row at round 3 and 4 in a 1 QB league because your best player available now doesn't turn to QB. It turns to, another position because you already own a QB. So best player available always evolves. Best player available is not going to tell you draft a position because you're scared about later though. Take Bijan if he's the best pick available. Take Lamb or Hill if you feel like they're as equal as Bijan. But St. Brown, to me, as much as I love him, is more of a 6, 7, 8 overall player. Bijan's more of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I love St. Brown in the 6, 7, 8 territory, but I'm not taking him over Bijan. I'm just not.
All right, I'm with you.
Well, make sure you're drafting St. Brown if he's your guy. But I'm not taking him in the top 4.
I took him last year. He carried the squad last year.
Well, barely.
I like him.
Yeah, imagine what he's going to do this year. He's running back 9 last year, which was not amazing, but it wasn't as bad as people painted it to be. But all right, bro.
I actually had Bijan and St. Brown, but thanks, man. I won't hold it up.
All right, that's Kevin from North Carolina, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you. Keith from New Hampshire, and then over to Scuba Steve, and then over to K Woods. Keith from New Hampshire. What's up, my guy?
What's up, Woody Smitty?
What's up?
Love your content, man. Love your show. Love what you're all about. I've been in a 14-team, 2-keeper, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 2 flex, 2 IDP league for Christ since high school. So, I mean, I've got some knowledgeable people in the league. I kept AR5 and Wilson in the 8th and 9th round. In the first round of the number 3 pick, I grabbed Achane, Cooper Kupp. Joe Mixon is really the biggest question, I feel like, on my roster, which I picked in the 3rd round. Then I went, and Chris Godwin. Those 2 are like kind of my toss-up.
All right.
And so what I'm thinking of doing, I got Kyle Pitts. I've got Chase Brown.
What's the question, pal? I'm just trying to keep the phone lines moving.
Yeah, no worries. So my question is, should I try to trade to, somebody in the league to try to up? Because I feel like Joe Mixon has good name value still, and he has like a little bit.
I like Jacobs.
Should I try to shift him?
Yeah, I definitely would try and trade him. He's definitely could prove me wrong, but you're gonna go get a guy that's gonna be equal to him. I think in a worst case scenario anyway. So like, who cares?
Right.
You're looking at, like, in terms of running backs, I'm trying to get Jacobs. You got to give up more to get an ETN or someone like that, but you got to give up way more to get, But I mean, you could
the guy
who
has ETN won't give him up.
You could get Jacobs. You could get a potential. I mean, what are the players you're willing to throw in? Because I'm trying to see if you could get into a Pacheco or get into.
Well, so my thought process was on my bench. So my tight ends are Kyle Pitts and Isaiah Likely, and I was looking at the person who has. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank on his name right now? Baltimore starting tight end. Oh my goodness,
Andrews.
Mark Andrews. Yeah. So I was looking at his team. And I was like, maybe trying to target him as saying, look, I can give you Likely, and I know he kind of likes Joe Mixon already. And up my, running back and my 3rd wide receiver, because I have Garrett Wilson and Cooper Kupp as my starting wide receivers. So.
Yeah, so I don't hate this idea, but what are you going to be getting from him? Like, what are you saying? Mixon and Likely for who?
Well, I was trying to see if I could snag like a Jamal Williams or who else does he have? Cook.
Jamal Williams.
Or Cook.
What do you mean, Jamal?
James Cook.
Okay, James Cook. Okay. I don't know, bro. Look, let me just give you a list of names to go attack. And that's the best I can do for you. I got to keep the phone lines moving. This is about an 8-minute question. I would say running backs, I'm going to attack. No, it's fine. Pacheco, Jacobs. I mean, honestly, I'd take Kamara over Mixon, to be honest with you. But that's me. Some people might disagree. Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, you might have to give more to get those guys. If you're going after a wide receiver, it might be a little easier to trade across position because people want to get an RB. They might have screwed up in their draft. So I'm going after Cooper Kupp. You might have to give it a little bit more. I'm going after Tank Dell. I'd take Tank Dell over Mixon. I'd be thankful of that. I'd take DK Metcalf. Those are moves that I would make. Would I go get a Chase Brown and a Worthy for Mixon? Yes. Would I do things like that? Yeah. Those are the kind of combinations.
Chase Brown.
Okay. So those are the kind of things I would do.
Yeah, I have Chase Brown. I have Cooper Kupp as well.
Keith, mute yourself and I'll come back to you. Think of another question or another trade you might cook up. I'll come back and answer it, but try and cook up an actual trade offer and I'll say yes or no to it, or cook up a couple. All right, hang tight.
Okay.
Scuba Steve, you're live. You guys, we got to keep the phone calls a little bit quicker. No backstories, or I'm just going to hit the X button. It's no offense to anybody. I don't want anybody to get mad. I'm not mad at you. I won't even remember I did it when you call back the next time. Go ahead, Scuba. You're live. Go quick.
Hey, Smitty, Jalen Waddle, are you in on him? Is there a certain ADP point that you want to target him, or is he too risky for it because of his injury history?
Way too high for my liking. He's going at freaking on underdog 19 overall, second round player. What in the hell are we doing on underdog drafting Waddle in round 2? I like Waddle. I like Dell. I'm not taking Dell in round 2. You see me taking Tank Dell in round 2? You do not. You see me taking Smash and Tank Dell in round 4, 5. But that's why we love Tank Dell, is his value is great. Waddle is not good value in round mother freaking 2. Now, in non-best ball, he's going in 3. But you just got to ask the question, like, what other players are there? You know, would I rather have Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Hurts over Waddle and then take a Worthy or Rashee Rice later or a Coleman later instead of Waddle? Yes, I would. Doesn't mean I don't like Waddle, but he is the number 2 on his team. He does not deserve top 25 overall consideration. So I'm going to say negative. Negative on the Waddle train at the cost of entry. If he fell to round 4, Scuba, we're talking about Tank Dell being in round 4 versus round 2. Yes, I love Waddle in round 4. He's just not falling there.
All right, because on ESPN, where I'm going to be drafting at, his ADP is right now. They have him at around like the fifth, like 49, like right after Anthony Richardson, around like McBride, DJ Moore, and
I'm fine. I would take him in round 4, fine, but it depends where you're drafting. It depends. Okay. It depends where. If you're drafting on ESPN, he's going to go around 3. You know, maybe could push 4, and then I like him. But if you're drafting on Underdog Fantasy, Tyler says in most leagues he's going 3, 4. Nobody takes him around 2. I don't know what you see. I just explained it, Tyler. In best ball, he's going around 2. I just told you. So yes, Scuba. It depends where where he's going. If he's in round 4, I'm fine with it. Then it becomes like I just said. Tank Dell in round 4 is great. Tank Dell in round 5 is great. Tank Dell in round 2 is not great. You know, same concept.
I just want to ask you because some of these guys on ESPN, a lot of these guys that they're definitely like off of ADP. Some of these guys it looks like you can get later. So that's why I'm just curious to bring these guys up.
I mean, it also depends who we're talking about. Like I can't just tell you yes, blanket statement taking him. What if someone else is there? Like what if Mahomes falls to the same spot that Waddle's there? I'm not taking Waddle over Mahomes. I'm just not. So it still doesn't, you know, and I can't answer the question in a blanket way. All right, appreciate you, Scuba. Okay. Call back if you got another one. 603 caller, you're live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, he left.
Hello?
K Woods, you're live. K Woods, you're live. What can I do for you? As quick as you can. No backstories.
So,
Keith, is that Keith again? Keith, is that you over talking K Woods? Keith, this guy Keith.
It was. I'm a 603 number, so I thought that's who you were talking to. I apologize.
Keith has done the. Keith, hold on. Mute yourself, Keith. We're coming back to you in a second. Think up a trade. I'm coming for you. K Woods, you're live.
Yeah. Okay, right. So I already have Jalen Hurts as my keeper.
Yes, sir.
Do I take AJ Brown with the stack with Jalen Hurts, or do I take Garrett Wilson or Jahmyr Gibbs? Who do you think better?
I don't care about stacks in non-best ball. They're fun. They're not a necessity. Yeah. So take the best player available. But okay. AJ Brown's very arguable with Garrett Wilson. So like you get that fun factor of the stack, and it's not a dangerous stack. Some non-best ball stacks are dangerous. People are like out of their minds for wanting to have Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the same non-best ball team. Probably the dumbest idea you could ever have. Having Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek on the same team, not a bright idea. Not only does the Miami Dolphins offense sometimes fluctuate, but they'll go run heavy sometimes and then go pass heavy sometimes. But with AJ Brown and Hurts, they're always balling. So I'm fine with this particular stack. I don't hate AJ B and Hurts together. I think if it makes football more enjoyable for you, there's nothing wrong with AJB over Garrett Wilson. In fact, AJB's got a higher ADP. So the world is saying we like AJ Brown more. But Garrett Wilson might have something to say about that. And I wouldn't let him catch you talking about taking him after AJB, but I don't blame you either way in his preference.
What about Gibbs?
Gibbs, same thing. I mean, there's injury risk. Running back values, depends on your league. If people are scooping up running backs, you're going to have nobody. But it sounds like you're going to have a close pick after that to get Gibbs or Kyren or Achane, right?
Yeah, I could probably get Kyren.
Yeah, so I'm fine going with the wide receiver and then letting the draft dictate a little bit where you're going next. All right, bro. Thanks, K Woods. Appreciate you. All right, everybody mute yourselves, please. Falcon, you're live. Falcon, not Keith. Falcon, you're live. Go ahead.
What's up, Smitty?
I'm just kidding, Keith. Go ahead.
Question. Yeah, I'm drafting this Sunday from the 8th position, and I've been kind of planting seeds in all the people that's in my league's head about all the best wide receivers that they can get in the first round. So I feel like they're kind of leaning that way. And I feel like I'm able to get Bijan, Kyren in the second, Achane in the third, and also Josh Allen in the fourth. So what would you do with the 5th, 6th, and 7th? Because I pretty much know that I can get those at a lock.
Say your players again at a lock. I'm sorry.
Bijan at the 8th, Kyren or Derrick Henry sometimes. I've been noticing in the second.
I don't like Henry in the second, by the way. I don't like that in the second. Henry's okay in the third. I don't like him in the second personally, but you trust your gut. Okay, so Kyren, Bijan, love it. Achane over Henry for me. But keep going.
Yeah, me too. Definitely like Achane too. So I can get Achane in the third and Josh Allen in the fourth.
Okay.
Or I've even seen from last year, people don't even draft quarterbacks in my league till the 6th or 7th round.
Yeah, but you get Allen in the 4th. At some point, bro, you can't look. You got to say, if someone's going to punt the top scoring overall player to round 4, you better take him. Don't play the late game. Just say thank you very much and move on. Like, if this is happening, if you're playing in such a grandma league that Achane's in round 3, I don't think he will be. I think you're going to have a rude awakening there. But let's say Achane's in round 3 and Allen's in 4. Just, you're going to have so many steals in the next rounds because people don't know what they're doing based on this, that you're going to absolutely be happy. So there's no way I'm passing on the number 1 overall scorer, whether that's Mahomes or Allen or Hurts with this 4th round pick. But I think you're going to have a rude awakening that Achane and Kyren will not be on your team. But that's okay. You're still going to have plenty of other players that are going to be great to grab. So if
Achane is the one in the 3rd round, would you just take Allen? Would Allen just instantly become your 3rd pick?
Well, I love Mahomes in 4 more than I love Allen in 3 because of what it affords you in round 3. But,
okay, and I know personally Mahomes isn't going to go until the 5th round in my league.
Okay,
I know this.
Then that opens the door to you just grab. You could grab. I'm not saying the stack is necessary, but that leaves you a Kelsey and a Mahomes situation. But again, you pull this off, bro, and I don't know if there's people even drafting in this draft if it's a bunch of computer teams, but yeah, I mean you get that, you might as well collect the money up front. Is this an 8-man?
Really
is this an 8-man league though? I didn't ask that. It seems like it.
It's a 12-man standard league, $500 pot.
You get a $500 league, which it doesn't always determine that it's a baller league, but these guys take it serious enough where they're dropping 500 bills to get in. You draft this right here in a 12-man league. I quit my job. I come work for you.
Well, I've been listening to you the last 5 years, Smitty, and I've done this probably 3 or 4 times since I've started playing. I've only been playing 5 years, and I've been able to win 2 championships following you.
All right. Well, I hope you land this team. And Kelsey's not a necessity in this 4th round, but this right here would, if you land Bijan, Kyren, Achane, Mahomes, and then with this pick right here, and let me just tell you, you're getting Dell in that next round. You're getting steals. You're getting Worthy and Rashee Rice And again, best ball, I'm not necessarily in the stacking. In non-best ball, I'm not in the stacking business, but I do stack the Chief players and the Eagle players. So you get Worthy and Rice, or Rice and Worthy, depending on the order. You get Tank Dell. I mean, you could do whatever you want. You could get McBride here. You could get Kincaid, or you could take a wide receiver. Maybe, I don't know, maybe DK or Debo falls to. I think Debo will fall this far in this Grandma League based on what you're saying. All right, bro, I got to help people that actually need help. This is an absolute smash for you. So go tear it up, Falcon. Appreciate you.
Thank you. And I just want to clarify for everybody that
I already hung up. I'm sorry. Will from the Bay, you're live. And then over to Marsman Rockout, who's going to jump the line because he's a Marsman. Will, hurry up. Hurry up, Will.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, bro.
Nice. Hey, I was wondering, so I have the 8th pick in a 12-man PPR league, and I was thinking about going Garrett Wilson, Achane, and then who else? It's between Kenneth Walker and in the 3rd round, and I'm kind of between Tank Dell and DJ Moore in the 4th.
Not a big DJ Moore guy. Not a big DJ Moore guy. There's a lot of mouths to feed there. But I love Dell. You might even get Dell in the 4-5. I see a lot of people complain about Dell in 4. Like, why would you take Dell in? So many haters on Tank Dell. I think you're going to get him in 5 more than you think. But this start is fantastic. Garrett Wilson, Achane, love it. Obviously, Kyron I love just as much in the Achane spot. If it's me, who'd you say in round 3? Walker, right? I don't like. I love Walker, but Walker in 3 is too high for me. I love him, but I'm not. It's weird that he's going like around 6 and 7 on underdog and best ball, and he's going in round 2, 3 and non-best. It's weird. It's such a discrepancy. But this is where I'm drafting one of the big 3 QBs, bro. It's such a locked-in smash. I know that waiting on a QB is fun. There's a lot of upside in it, but you get Garrett Wilson, Achane, Dell, and Mahomes. I love that. If you were to wait, if you're a wait on a QB guy, you just don't like it. I can kind of sense in your voice. Then even if you get AR5 or Stroud in that 5 territory, so let's say Stroud in 5 or 6, and he goes in between 5, 6, and 7, depending on the format. It's wild how crazy his ADP is. This is a very, very solid team. And then, like, let's say you get a Jacobs, who I think is fantastic in the 3rd round in this format, because I think he's a top 6 to 10 running back. Or you get, ETN goes in 2. Sometimes he goes in 3. Depends where you're drafting. This is a great start as well. I don't mind this at all. But I'm very, very tempted to go early QB. I think in this league, you probably could get away with the early QB in 4. So you're grabbing Mahomes. Mahomes falls so far sometimes. And then if you get Dell here, this team looks like a monster right here. So I like that team probably the most if you can pull it off. The Garrett Wilson, Achane, Jacobs, Mahomes, Dell, like something like that.
Yeah. Well, do you like Jacobs more than Walker?
Yes. I love Walker, but whose offense is better, bro?
Right. Yep. I was thinking kind of
always lean toward the offense. Green Bay's gonna ball the hell out. While I like Ryan Grubb, while I'm hopeful for Walker, while I love Walker's round 5, 6, 7 value in some formats like best ball, it starts to become very risky again to draft him in the 3rd round. I love Walker, but that's too high.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. And then also I was wondering.
All right. Last thing. Gotta go.
Yep.
Go ahead, quick.
Okay. I'm a big Brock Purdy kind of guy. I think he might do really well this year, and I was thinking about getting him later on. What do you think about that?
I'm a big grab early quarterback guy usually, but I don't hate that idea. It's not bad. It depends on what you get. It all depends on what you get. If you get something amazing because of it, then I'm fine with it. But if you end up taking DJ Moore instead of Mahomes or Hurts or a Josh Allen, I'm going to lose it.
Okay, I will not do that.
Well, do what you want. But all right, appreciate you, Will.
No. I'm with you. That sounds.
Someone's going to be in here. What's wrong with DJ Moore, Smitty? All right, later, Will. I got to go. All right, Marsman Rock out. Man. What can I do for you, Marsman Rock out?
Yeah, what's your feelings on Warren with his injury?
Not loving it. Not loving it, bro. I'm not feeling good at all right now about Warren's potential climb.
Yeah.
Absolutely love Warren, but he's a midseason monster. So we do know that at some point he will take over the job, I think. But he certainly can't do it now in week one. He was very, very borderline. Like, he's not going to maybe start week one, but he's momentum's there. Maybe he gets 40% of the work. But he is the PPR specialist, I think.
Yeah.
So eventually he will take the job. But we got to now draft Jaylen Warren as a project, not a momentum stealing the starting job in the early weeks.
Yeah. Also like, what's his name? Allen from the Jets.
Allen from the Jets. Braylon Allen, yes. Love Braylon Allen.
Yeah.
Monster. Midseason monster. We didn't want to put him on the midseason monster list because it makes it sound like Breece Hall is going to get hurt, but I think he's just like a rags to riches potential player or a diamond in the rough type of player. I don't know what we're going to coin him as, but Braylon Allen is an absolute league winner. But we do have enough talk about him on this board here where we constantly say he is in the top 3 handcuffs of the entire season, Fantasy Football 2024. There's no more important handcuff than Braylon Allen except for the Miami guys and Corum. So he's in good company, but that's where Braylon Allen gets the most, I think, talk on this channel. And it's a very, very nice way of saying we believe in Breece Hall staying healthy and everything, but you want to win a league? Cuff him. You want to snipe somebody? If something disastrous happened, then Braylon Allen's the guy. What else? You got anything else, Rock Out?
Yeah. How you think the split's going to go with Allen and Breece? I know Breece could be the headliner.
The what? Say it again.
How you think the split's going to be with the Jets?
With the running stable? I think Hall's going to get starter work. Like there's only going to be so much that he can take on, and you're going to have Braylon Allen in there on probably more goal line attempts than we want. But Breece Hall got very little goal line at all last year, and he's number 2, 3 overall, depending on your scoring. Usually he scored 2. So, I think he's going to be a stud. Absolute stud. Not worried about the volume whatsoever. All right, Rock Out, mute yourself real quick. I'll come back to you. Let me hit these super chats, get them out of the way. Phone line, everybody stay muted on the phone line, please. I'll come for you in 1 second. Smitty, who's better as a running back 3, Bijan Robinson Jr., Rico Dowdle, or Chase Brown? Give me Chase Brown, but try and cuff him if you can. I have C-Mac, Achane, Jaylen Warren. I like it, bro. Chase Brown is the better call, in my opinion. Bijan Robinson Jr. has got some value, but he's also got a potential, committee. Chase Brown has a potential committee, but he's also running with the ones and very comfortably in the 1 spot, whereas Dowdle's not, and Bijan Robinson kind of is in the same spot Chase Brown is in, where he's in the 1 spot. He's sharing some work, but he's in the 1 spot, but he also has a vulturing rushing touchdown quarterback, whereas Chase Brown doesn't. And Chase Brown is, I think, proven to a big enough degree that we absolutely I think know what we can expect as long as he stays healthy. Professor, appreciate you with the $5 hauler. My 12-man PPR draft was Snipe City. I ended up with Josh Allen, Henry, Jacob, St. Brown, Ayuk, Ferguson, Keenan, Allen, Mike Williams, Pollard, Corum. Not sure about it. Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely not going to give this like an 8 out of 10 or anything, but you're, a move or 2 away. I'd probably say you're in the 6.9 range. And that just means, Professor, that you need to make 2 moves, not 1. I give a 7.8 to a team that just needs to make 1 baby move to get into the type of team that can win it all. An 8.2 to 8.5 team is usually what I score for like a team that can absolutely, without any moves, just stay healthy, make right choices, and you can coach that up with the team that you have into a 9.1, 9.0, whatever. But I would say this team probably needs 2 moves. I'm probably trading Henry. I'm probably trading Ayuk. I'm probably trading Keenan Allen. I'm probably trading Pollard. I'm trying to get myself into the Kyrans, the Achanes, the Cooper Kupps, I just think Ayuk's an injury risk. Love St. Brown. Love Jacobs. Love Josh Allen. The core of this team is phenomenal. You just need maybe 2 moves. Jacobs is going to be really, really solid. So don't trade St. Brown. Don't trade Jacobs. Don't trade Allen. But consider trading the rest of that crew and try and get Kyren to cuff to Corum that guy might be vulnerable because of the draft selection that you made. And, you took advantage of him and sniped him. So I love that you did that, and that gives you some firepower. And sometimes people may not want to trade a player, but then when you hold the backup and they realize you're never going to trade him, they'll be like, damn it, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live like this. Hernandez says, would you trade Barkley for K9 and McLaurin? Dynasty. God. Chat, what do you think on that? Put it in the comments what you would do. Dynasty, Barkley for K9 and McLaurin. That's tough because running backs have such a short shelf life. It's not like Walker's going to outlive Barkley to some crazy degree. So do you just ride the 2 years you're getting with Barkley in an amazing offense, or do you roll with this other situation? I'd probably say if you're in win now mode, I'm staying with Barkley because you say that in your comment. You're looking for win now advice. So I'm going to say, give me Barkley. And I think he does have 2 years. So that's enough. And I love Walker, but he's still a concern to a degree. We're not taking him in round 2 or 3. And Barkley we're taking so high in redraft. I don't know. I'm going to say smash with Barkley. People are taking St. Brown over Chase. Thoughts? It's definitely par for the course right now. With Chase, with the rumors today that Chase, I led with the show with this information that Jamar Chase is potentially wanting $120 million. Let me see if I can get to that. Cobo dropping the celebratory message. Smitty, no backstories. He doesn't want anybody dropping backstories on the phone line, and I appreciate that. 26-month membership. Smash that like button. This is Blackbeard. Appreciate you doing that. And then love Smitty and his genuine take on everything. Priceless. Thank you. Appreciate you, Keith. You might not always agree with me, but at least we have a whole lot of fun here. And I think this is it right here. Jamar Chase wants $160 million 4-year deal, according to this ESPN 1530, according to this report. So a lot of according to, but he's looking for $120 million. That's $40 million average annual value over the $35 million that JJ's getting. And he wants $120 million guaranteed instead of JJ's $110. So if that's the case, and Chad Ochocinco, who knows what he knows? He didn't even know that changing his name to Ochocinco was a mistake. So how does he know what he's saying? But Chad Ochocinco, I believe, said that he doesn't think that he will be suiting up at all until he gets a contract. So we'll see what happens. And, it makes sense that that's going to potentially, we're going to see Jamar Chase fall below St. Brown and A.J. Brown. Do I agree with it? I don't know if I'm there yet fully, but I think I'm right at that edge to where if I've side-by-side leagues, I'll take St. Brown in one, Chase in the other, or go running back. Have heard talks of Benson struggling in camp to take the number 2 role. Are we worried about him being irrelevant this season? No, but he's a wait-and-see player. He's somebody that if you drafted him to start, you weren't paying attention. Not you, Jesse, but if anybody drafted Benson to start week 1, you didn't listen to a word I said. This is a player people are going to drop. This is like Jordan Love last year. You know how many people dropped Jordan Love and didn't listen to me and didn't stay the course? God, he was on the waiver wire week 6, 7, 8, 9. It was like 5 weeks in a row Jordan Love was on the waiver wire. And we did percentages on that. So it wasn't like, in a couple leagues. It was a big percentage, enough to make the waiver wire show every week for like 4 straight weeks. People gave up. I remember the comment specifically. Somebody said, as soon as Monday comes, I'm dropping Jordan Love for Nathan Peterman. Like, obviously he's not doing that, but he wanted to make such a big statement about how bad my Jordan Love take was. He wanted to let me know that he's racing to the waiver wire to cut him. Racing, not walking, racing to go get Nathan Peterman. And how did that work out? So there's going to be so many people cutting Trey Benson, who's going to take time. He's a rookie. He's a 4-3 rookie playing behind a 87-year-old running back that has an injury history. And on top of that, he has struggled. But guess what? Benson looked great last game. And I think he got over that hurdle, had a bunch of explosive runs where he didn't have any explosive runs earlier. Alex says start Chase Brown or Ford week 1. Probably a toss-up at this moment in time till we get closer. I would say I'm leaning. Such a tough call, bro. Let's go to the schedule real quick. And where's the week 1 schedule? Where is that? I think it's right here. Is this week 1? Thursday, yeah, this should be week 1. So you have Chase Brown at home against the Patriots. What a nice matchup there. And what was What was the question again? I already forget. Chase Brown or Ford? Okay, so Ford or Chase Brown. Dallas at home against Dallas. I'm gonna say give me Chase Brown, bro. But it's very arguable. I mean, I love Ford. They're both on Moon Men list, so I mean, obviously we love both of them. Here are the Moon Men, in case you didn't know.
The Moon Men dropping.
They're side by side.
Space.
Ford and Chase Brown. I'm gonna go Chase Brown. But it's a good question. It's a very, very close call. I assume the chat's gonna go Chase Brown. Plus, we've been yelling Chase Brown all week, so it only makes sense. How are we gonna sit a guy we've been yelling Chase Brown about all freaking week? I don't think so. That's not how we roll. Ryan, $10 hauler gets a moonshot. Ryan, appreciate you.
To the moon.
Appreciate you. By the way, everybody on the phone line right now, this includes Rock Out, especially like Ron Navy, Rock Out, Travis. Not to say that everybody else on the phone line isn't, as important as the next guy. I don't mean it this way. But I just want everybody to know, Rock Out specifically is on the line right now. I'm going to have a button that's going to be called the phone line dump. And when we get too many super chats or I have too much going on to manage it all, and that's just the nature of it, it's not an overwhelming thing. It's just I want to get through things in an orderly fashion. I can't have super chats wait. I'm going to have a phone line dump button. And it's going to suck for some of you that have been waiting. Like, who's been waiting for a while? Don Draper's been waiting a little while. And Baxter is up next. You two are up next, so hang tight. But I'm going to have a phone line button that's going to say, Smitty's dumping the phone line. Just so I can, move on to everything and then open it back up. So no one take offense if you ever get dumped, okay? Because it's just going to be the way it is as these phone lines fill up and these super chats come rolling in. Hunter, no phone, in-person draft, any draft tips? That is tough because, bro, everybody's going off their own list. You got to go by the overall average of ADPs is what I would recommend. And I think it doesn't change much, though. I think you're just drafting. Just make sure you're drafting the best player available, bro. Don't be afraid of the RB. Don't be afraid of the Garrett Wilson RB approach. But don't be afraid of the RB. Don't be afraid of the third or fourth round top 3 quarterback. PPR, Mike Evans, Josh Jacobs, Dell, or Pittman. I'm going to say Jacobs, then Dell, then Mike Evans. And that might shock some people because Evans he was so good last year, but dude's 31 years old, and I just don't know that I'm on board for the valuation that we have for him right now. It's tough for me to buy into him, but and you could say, Smitty, but you like Cooper Kupp. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Stroud and Mitchell, 80 Mitchell for Love and Mostert. I would rather have, in redraft, I'd rather have Love and Mostert over Stroud and Mitchell. But it's barely, and it's because you have Achane, and I think it's if it's Dynasty, then obviously no. But Matthew with a $10 hauler. Matthew, appreciate you dropping the super chat, pal. Rate this best ball team underdog, promo code Smitty. That's correct. Promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $1,000 now. So you drop $500, they'll give you $250. They'll match it 50% up to $1,000. That means if you drop $2,000, they're giving you $1,000. They're matching it 50. And that's a limited time, so make sure you're hitting that code. I just dropped it in the live chat. We draft at midnight most nights, so if you want to draft with us and all that, please hit the link. I just pinned the link. The link's in the live chat. The link's in the description of the video. Smitty, rate this team. Goff, Stafford, Geno. Hate the QBs. I know Goff's good, guys. I get it, but that's not the QB I want in fantasy. Stafford, Geno. This team better be off the hook, the rest of the team. Bijan, Gibbs, Javonte, Ford, Wright, wide receivers, DK, Rice, McLaurin, Coleman. No. I'm sorry, Matthew. I know you spent $10 on this, and I hope that you appreciate my honesty and come back for more versus say, you rated my team bad, I'm never coming back for a super chat. But I don't like this. I don't even know how this went the way it went. I think you had to have taken somebody way too early, like either Rice, Coleman, or Ridley, or you forgot to write somebody in. Because Bijan and Gibbs, first and second round pick, I get it. DK, third, I get it. But fourth round pick, who's the fourth round pick? Rashee Rice? I love Rashee Rice, but that's early. Who am I missing here? I have to be. You did something wrong. That's all I'm going to say. But it's okay because the best ball, you get to redo it. It's not like you're locked in for the whole year. You can just do another one. Who wins PPR, Jacobs or AJB or Barkley and Smith? Jacobs and AJB or Barkley and Smith? Give me AJB and Jacobs by a hair. But that's really close. 16-man, tried to stay balanced, like you said. Kyler, Achane, Chase Brown, A.J. Brown, Waddle, McLaurin, McBride, bench, Shakir. Yeah, definitely a very, very balanced team. I don't hate this team at all. I think you did as well as you could in a 16-man league. 16-mans are crazy. Hey, 773 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? You got a lot of background noise, by the way.
And I hope that you...
Lawrence.
Okay. Lawrence, I'm sorry I hung up on you already because you were delayed and you had so much background noise. If you can call in a little quieter area, I'll add you back on. 16-man league, tried to stay balanced. I like this. Keep in mind, guys, you're not looking at a 12-team draft. You're looking at a 16-team draft. Kyler, Achane, Chase Brown, AJB, Waddle, McLaurin, McBride. You can't really get better than that, bro. The only mistake is you don't have... So you have Achane, but you don't have... Do you have Wright? I don't see Wright anywhere. I love that you have Wicks. Wicks is a great wide receiver. Can Chase Brown hold as an RB2? In a 16-teamer, yeah. I try and get Moss if you can. Like maybe Fields or Wicks gets enough value that you can get a Moss. You know what would be interesting, bro? Try and trade... And I don't love the idea of trading McLaurin, but try and get Mostert, and you could start Mostert and Achane, and you're running back 1 and 2 all year long in a 16 team, all year long, bro. Actually, you could crush with that approach. And yeah, you have a problem in a bye week, but you're healthy and strong the entirety of the season. Thanks again, Cam, for that super chat. This one here, Javon Baker, a Moon Man. Javon Baker, the news today is that he's no longer running with the starters or any rotation of the starters. So I don't know if this is going to linger for a while, but at the moment he's tailing off to be a midseason monster only. So midseason monster only for this moment in time. Definitely not feeling like he's in position to be Moon Man material given the opportunity, but doesn't mean we don't love the hell out of him. Hurts Kamara versus DK Kamara. Hurts and Kamara. Because I think you can replace DK a little easier with Worthy or Rashee Rice later. You know what I'm saying? So very easy call for me. And the final super chat to get all caught up and $20 haulers get immediate attention. I'm going back to the phone lines after this message. There's another membership milestone for you to read. Also love it that we're already talking starts and sits. Going to be a great season. Superfish, thank you for the $5 hauler. Appreciate you. Also, we had gifted memberships as well. That didn't get celebrated at the beginning of the show. We had 10 gifted from Shaggy. We also had, let's see here. We had 5 gifted from Coble, and I didn't get to celebrate those when those came rolling in because the notifications were not up. Appreciate it. Anybody drops them now, they should be working if anybody wants to test it out. And then, I'm sorry, this last super chat came in. This last one, and then I'm going to the phone lines, I promise. It is from B43, says $10. Smitty, $10 holler, gets a moonshot. Appreciate you, young man. And your question is 10-team league, full PPR, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. I got the 10-11 picks. I like Garrett Wilson. Which running back would you pair with him with? I like Kyron the most. Kyron, then Gibbs, then Barkley, then JT in that order. But you can't really go wrong. They're all amazing, top 6 to 10 capable RBs. I just think Kyron is the most capable to get to that freaking top 5 status. Okay, phone line. Let's go to Don Draper.
Smitty.
What's up, pal?
12 teams super flex league. I'm picking from the 5th spot. I'm expecting to see either Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, or C.J. Stroud, and I'm torn who to take. What do you say?
Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, or C.J. Stroud. I think that you're looking at, Lamar's the normal call people would make, but AR5's the one I would make. I think Stroud is certainly capable, but because AR5 runs the ball, he's so special. Very high risk. I think the safest player might be Stroud. I think Lamar's not because he's been injured, and last year was his first real year over the last, I think, 4 years where he was consistent. So, yeah, bro, I'm going to take AR5. I mean, he has the capability of being the number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 quarterback in the National Football League in fantasy points. But it's risky. I mean, you don't like risk, don't do it.
I got you, man. Thank you, Smitty. Have a good one.
All right, Don, you got anything else? I made you wait a long time.
No, that's all right. I just wanted to be quick so everybody else can get a chance.
All right, appreciate it, Don. Call back in tonight if we go live again. All right, later.
All right. Okay, later.
Baxter, you are live, young man.
Hello. Hi,
What's up?
Smitty.
What's up?
Could you just rank these 6 players for me?
Sure.
Tank Dell, Malik Neighbors, Sam Laporta, Devontae Smith, Brandon Ayuk, and K9.
Ayuk and K9.
You got those?
Yeah. I'm going to say this is tough, man.
I'm on the clock, I know you love them all.
I mean, Neighbors is and I don't love Neighbors at the 2-3 turn, but this is not that. This is like 4th round, feel to it. Are you in the 4th?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Neighbors becomes really good in the 4th round. He's just not good at the 2-3 turn. And in best ball, he's going there. Non-best ball, he's not. So he's actually a good value. I think Dell has the most upside. But Laporta's too high for my taste. I think you can get a Kincaid or McBride like a round and a half, 2 rounds later. Devontae Smith is very, very exciting this year. If he plays a lot of slot, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver because that's what Kellen Moore's system does for a slot wide receiver. Keenan Allen in a very collapsing Chargers offense last year where Herbert couldn't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy again this year so far. But Herbert in a broken down, not playing well system offense last year, which wasn't Kellen Moore's fault. It was just injuries and a lot of different things. And it wasn't a good fit. Keenan Allen was wide receiver 3. So Devontae Smith is probably the craftiest. I think Neighbors might be the safest based on volume. Dell's got the most risk but most ceiling. It comes down to, Ayuk is holding out, and so I just don't like the injury risk. K9, I like him, but later. I'm going to say it comes down to these 3 guys, and it's kind of preference, bro. Neighbors might be. Can we get a vote on this, guys? I'm going to say from this group, I like Neighbors a tad more based on volume, but going back to my rule of who's on the better team, it makes me want to say Dell or Devontae Smith for that reason, but the volume's gonna be there for Neighbors. It's just, will the touchdowns? I don't know. I'm leaning. Damn, I'm leaning. I'm gonna lean towards Smith. I think he's gonna play a lot of slot. I think the chat's leaning there anyway. Neighbors is really good though, and he is the number 1. So you could look at that, but do you want the number 1 on a bad team, or do you want the number? Maybe even he isn't even number 2. He could be the 1A, 1B. So he could be the 1B on a much better offense that's gonna ball out. I'd probably say, and while Dell, some say he's the 3. I don't say he's the 3. I think he's the 2. But I think there's no 1. I think it's a combo of there's 2 2s and 1 2B in Diggs. And so there's going to be a rotation of sorts. But Devontae Smith is a baller. And A.J. Brown does come with a little bit of knee injury risk every year he plays. And you never know when Devontae Smith all of a sudden becomes the number 1 wide receiver, for the entirety of the season. I'm not, knock on wood, I love A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith by a hair. All right. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Later. Rock out. Final thoughts.
Yeah, are you releasing on the draft position as a Mars man?
I was going to do that today, but I think I'll just do it on the live stream.
Oh, and one more question. When are you going to put the link for the payments in the sleeper.
For Marsman and Moonman?
Yeah.
I'll figure that out. We'll send it out soon.
Okay, I was just wondering about that.
Yeah. Here's the Moonmen, Marsmen. That draft is it's 24th. So coming up this weekend, 24th at 5 p.m. Eastern, Marsmen, Moonmen draft. Don't be late for the live stream, 5 p.m. Eastern on the 24th, which is that a Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Marsmen, Moonmen. Let's roll.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, man. Later, bro. All right, we are probably out of here. You got another membership milestone, says Superfish. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see here. We got, after Coble, we had Mark. Mark said 15-month membership. MHJ or Achane have Gibbs. Mark, you still there? MHJ or Achane, you have Gibbs. I'm going to go Achane, but just because I feel confident I'm getting those Tank Dells and Devontae Smith type players. So thank you, Superfish, for reminding me on that. Thank you, Mark, for dropping that question. We got one more super chat coming in, and we got this one from Jet over here. Jet says, 12-team PPR, 11th pick. Who would you target for rounds 1 through 4? Thinking Gibbs, Kyren. I never plan out that much in advance, bro. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty easy to say that Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Bijan Hall in round 1 if you're in that 11 pick. And I'm not saying that Hall or Bijan fall often to 11, but sometimes they do. So you're just prepared for that. And then St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, Gibbs, Kyren are all fantastic at that 11 pick. And honestly, Kyren at the 14 pick is winning you a league if he stays healthy. So personally, I tend to go Kyren and Achane. I tend to go Garrett Wilson and Kyren. I tend to go Gibbs and Kyren, Gibbs and Achane. Those typically are the guys I take at the 1-2 turn from the 11. Past that, it's really hard to say. You get a top 3 quarterback, I'm snagging that. You get a Devontae Smith, Tank Dell, as we've mentioned, or even a Cooper Kupp, bro. Cooper Kupp would smash at your 3rd round pick. And you take Cooper Kupp, and let's say you take, I don't know, you could take a tight end if you wanted, like a Kincaid or McBride, but I think I'd try and wait until round 5. The problem is you have a late pick, so I don't know if you'll get one, but it is what it is. I love the idea of Tank Dell being in your 5th round pick if somehow he falls, but I don't know. I kind of think that's the way I would go. I appreciate you, Jet. Thank you. And Caleb with a $5 hauler. I got QB, Dak, and Fields, running back Rashad, Zamir, Chandler, Warren, St. Brown, Dell, Amari Cooper. I'm trading Amari Cooper on the high if I can. I'm trading McConkey if anybody thinks he's going to be a volume king. Laporta's solid, but I would be tempted to downgrade him into a Kincaid or McBride if I could get something like bump Rashad White up a touch. So go to the Kincaid McBride owners and see what running back they have. Do they have somebody slightly over Zamir or Rashad, specifically Rashad? I don't love your running stable. I actually don't like it at all. Warren just got hurt, so it's in shambles right now. And Zamir, I like Zamir, but we did remove him from the Moonman list a little bit ago just because the offenses look so bad in the preseason. So it's hard to know how many touchdowns he could even score. I don't like Amari, so I'm trading Amari and Rashad for one bigger, better, stronger player. And, Kyren, Achane, ETN potentially. And I love the idea of trying to keep Dell and St. Brown, but doing what I can to get one more big monster. Caleb, I'd say this is got a score of like a 6.9 until something gets fixed, until you make at least one amazing trade that could vault you all the way up to like near an 8. And then you're one waiver wire move away, not necessarily another trade, because you might not be able to afford to do another trade at that point, but you might be a waiver wire move away from being an absolute smash and home run. Appreciate you, Caleb, for dropping that super chat. Appreciate all of you dropping super chats all night long. Joe dropping that $20 holler to start the show. Cam, shoot, appreciate you. Ryan, Phil, 217, Jaime, Luke H, Q, OTP, Aber, appreciate you. James, Ray G, Elgin, Beacons, Alec, 217, Matthew, Mamba, appreciate you. Hunter, Asan, Hernandez, Professor, Castro, Ryan, Alec, Jesse, Cam, Aber again, Superfish, Ben, B for 3, Jet, Superfish, and Caleb all dropping super chats tonight. Gifted memberships again dropped by Coble. Dropped some gifted memberships. Coble dropped, I think, the 5 or the 10. Let me see if I can find that. Coble dropped 2 5s, so he dropped 10 total, and then Shaggy dropped 10. And I think that's all we got tonight. But then we got all those super chats, all those celebratory messages. Appreciate the 4 of you. Mark, I answered your question already. Again, the answer is Achane, but I love both of them. Coble, Blackbeard, and Keith dropping the celebratory messages. Appreciate you all. I will see you all later. Thank you for watching this episode where we broke down who are the biggest revenge tour candidates in 2024. This man's coming for everybody as he tries to claim a top 5 wide receiver spot, and he can do it. And this man's going to have a revenge tour like no other, coming back from an injury-plagued season where he still played very, very well. Cooper Kupp to the moon. Garrett Wilson to the mother freaking moon. Revenge tour season for these guys. They're coming for everybody. And then we got one last super chat from Freddie, who was at his draft tonight. $5 holler. He says this is his team. Mahomes, Purdy, Achane, Bijan, Mostert. He got Achane and Mostert. Love it. Make sure you got right. You got the trio. I love it. Bijan, Achane, Mostert, right. Tank, Dell, Jameson, Worthy, Rice. Love it. I like. This is a crafty team, bro. This is a crafty team. I love the fact that it's light wide receiver, but it's a very crafty design. You're stacked with Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to the moon. I like this team a lot. This team looks really good. Drafted my team. Thank you. This is Freddie. Freddie, appreciate you dropping the 2 back-to-back $5 hollers. That gets you a moonshot because that equals 10.
To the moon.
See, I listened to school. Freddie, appreciate you. That's a crafty team, bro. Mahomes, Achane, Bijan, Mostert, Wright, Dobbins, Moss, Tank, Dell, Jameson, Williams, Worthy, Rice, Musgrave. Look, Tank Dell as your wide receiver 1 feels risky. People will make fun of your wide receiver room. They'll say, oh, you're so light at wide receiver. You don't even have a number 1 for your team. You've got 2 electric chief wide receivers, and I don't love stacking a non-best ball normally, but I love it with the Mahomes stack. This is a really good team. It's crafty. The fact that you could start Achane, Mostert, and Bijan in week 1 and in Mahomes, you might have so much touchdown production from that trio alone, bro. And the fact that if Mahomes is balling out, Worthy and Rice are balling out. And honestly, I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to have to sit Jameson on the bench and go Tank, Dell, Worthy, Rice, because you can't miss out on picking that one right. It's a good squad. I like it. I like what you did there, pal. Very, very nice job. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. And for those that don't know, we have decided to create a situation where we have a way to determine who the best Moon Men, Mars Men, Saturn Men are without one being better than the other necessarily. Like a Moon Man can be better return on investment than a Saturn Man, but how do we know who are the best of the best? We got gifted membership. Pop just became a member of the YouTube exclusive community. Here it is, Supernova.
There are Saturn, Mars, and Moon Men, but only 5 can become supernovas. I give you the 5 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 5 supernovas.
supernovas.
And then we got this final super chat by Papa Smurf says, trade a 2026 first for McBride. Absolutely. In a millisecond, I'm taking the man known as Trey McBride. Millisecond.
Once upon a time, Trey McBride saw two quarterbacks cross streams.
There are 2 5s?
They're gonna cross streams.
He worked effortlessly trying to accomplish this feat on his own. Then, one day, he crossed his 4th and 5th round average draft position. And then, this occurred. Get McBride.
Look at this family here. 2 families colliding. Kyler and McBride season in full effect. See you all later. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the thumb up button. We only need 2 more thumbs up to get to 200. 350 of you YouTubers still in the building right now, because you know that we don't always go away when we say we're going to go away. We sometimes return for like something like this. See you all later. Appreciate you. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. Also, additionally live whenever big news breaks. Deuces.